Hi guys, today we are putting up the trusses on our high tunnel greenhouse. This was going to be a somewhat easy task back when our tractor was working, but we had to figure out a way to do this simply, easily with just a few people without using our tractor. So I will show you what we did, and it went really well. We were able to get this all done super quick, and it just went efficiently and well, but I can honestly say it was exhausting. Moving these over was exhausting, and then you're already tired from carrying these big things over in this heat, and then you have to lift it up so that it's standing up, and that I think was the hardest part of the whole project. I'll show you in a little bit how we set up the rig so that we could hoist the trusses up, but my dad ended up coming up with a genius idea, and it's actually an easy way that you could possibly put your high tunnel trusses up with just having to rent a piece of equipment for a day, and not an expensive piece of equipment either. It doesn't require electricity or gas or anything like that. It's 100% man operated, and it worked really well. Now that we have the truss standing up, it's actually standing on a piece of plywood in front of each post so that it's nice and centered, but it's not sitting in the dirt. On the very first one that we were trying, we realized that we were setting them in dirt, and obviously when you have a pipe full of dirt, it's not going to go on a male end of a pipe very well. So we took some scrap pieces of plywood and set them in front of the pipe, and it gave us a nice stable surface to stand these trusses up on and keep them fairly clean as well. once the truss is up, we can put a screw in on each inside side of the post, so 3 on each arm or wall of the high tunnel, and then we move the plywood forward 1 post for the post ends, and then we will move the jack and the plywood that's on forward 1 post. Then we can carry another truss over and hoist it up. Need help? I'll hold that, you. Okay. Now take your glove and so this is how we put the trusses up. We took a sheetrock lift. My dad built a frame with a little, it's 4x4 in the center. It's braced. And then up on top it has 2 lips. And then we had a person on each end, make sure that everything was lined up. It went really well. We were able to get all of them done in 2.5 hours. The only issue that we had with this was it was hard to move in the dirt. We had a sheet of plywood, but it didn't give us much maneuvering. So we had problems maneuvering the lift, even with a sheet of plywood there, and it would catch up. It would just make it hard. I mean, they're hard enough to move as it is, but then also we found that if we were trying to get everything lined up after it was in the air, the sheetrock lift, the top would kind of tilt to one side. So it was a lot easier if we just had it all lined up, sitting on the ground, sitting on the piece of plywood by each post, make sure they're in the right spot, and then lift it up. So we have the 12 W trusses, 34 feet wide, 5-foot spacing, and then these are for the end walls, the end wall trusses right there and right there.
And they have different types of supports and brackets. So we're getting close. I'd say we're about half done. So this is what we have left of pieces. We still have all of these Tex screws.
What do you think this one's for?
These brackets are for the purlins.
What's this for?
Those are for rolling up the sides, because the sides are going to roll up and down so we can get ventilation in. Lots of bolts yet. Purlins. Now those are what we used to attach the W bracing to the big pipe. So I'm not quite sure what the rest of those are for. We've got the twine for the roll-up sides. I'm guessing that those are for the roll-up sides. These are to mount the wood bracing that go down the length of each side. We have 2x8s along the top, or 2x6s along the top, and 2x6s along the bottom. That's what those are for. And then those are to join the pieces of wood. Those are the roll-up sides, and then these two big boxes are the plastic for the top. And then this is the pulley system and the weights for the roll-up sides. They're actually roll-down sides. They're roll-down curtains. So out here we have, I'm thinking that these are for the side curtains. These are for the purlins. So we have 3 that go the whole length, 1 in the center, 2 off of each side on the trusses. So that's what those are for. I'm not sure what these are for. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 of them. 2, 3, 1. So these must be bracing for in the back on the each end wall. 2 for each side. 2, 4, 6, 8. Yep. So these would be for the bracing for the end walls. And then over here we have the zigzag or wiggle channel or whatever it's called. Bringing that over to Grandpa. Okay. The wiggle wire. And those go on the end walls as well. How you doing, Theo? You hot? I kicked him out of the stone coop. It was nice and cool in there. And so now, go back up to the house. It's cool up there. It's cool up there, yes. Go back up to the house. Stop following me. And in here in front of the stone coop. And there's the high tunnel. So this is gonna be really nice. This is gonna be a big overhead door or sliding door. And then we'll have a smaller one off of that side to go to the back door of the stone coop. But this should be lots of space to get equipment in there if we need to. And I didn't think I'd like it offset that much, but I do. It's gonna make life a little easier with snow plowing and all of that. We'll be able to get equipment in and out, and we won't have a little tiny footpath, and it'll be great.